All right, so welcome on back to our Thursday evening practice. Today's class, I called it Slow Down Flow. I have the tendency, as I do think many people do, is when things start piling on, we sort of match that energy and we sort of go, 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 go. And I started noticing that kind of creeping into my yoga practice as well, where it's like I wanted to do so many things and I wanted stuff to be so challenging and I just wanted to really feel it so intensely. And then I think I just sometimes just bypass like all of the benefits and the kind of the purpose for me. So I thought today would be a wonderful opportunity to kind of slow it down, to get cozy, to just sort of be with ourselves for a half an hour. Sochi, you gonna make an appearance? He's like this ghost. Yeah, there he is. For months, I've been trying to get him to actually show his face. He's real. Say hi, Sochi. He's like, no, thank you. And yeah, so we're just gonna have a nice mellow, kind of stretch-oriented practice. As I mentioned earlier, you can, before I hit record, you can get some socks if you use pillows or anything cozy. Comfort is key today. If you'd like to play music, you can do that now. Why are you sad? I love you. I found Mellow Yoga Mix on Spotify to really exemplify the mood that we're going through. And just a reminder that my house, my family's house has a lot of activity and life in it. So if you hear voices or pots and pans, it's a well-lived house. So let's come into a comfortable seat on our mats. I play floating lotus. And we're going to take a couple moments for breath. So find that alignment. Chin slightly dips so that the crown of the head is parallel with the ceiling. Roll back the shoulders. Breathe into kind of a very uplifted front body. And on the exhale, let it all run downhill. Let the shoulders drop. Let the gaze lower. Maybe your eyes even come to close at this point. And just allow your hands to be restful in your lap, on your legs, in your lap. You can pick a mudra or prayer position, just a place where you feel a little activated and present. And then let your eyelids continue to be heavy. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And let it out through parted lips. Excellent. Continue to breathe, deliberately slowing it down, letting the exhale be as long, if not longer, than the previous inhale. Try this for a couple of moments on your own. Again, letting that steady inhale be the uplifting, aware, present breath. And the exhale is that downward melting. Can you relax the body? Can you even bring relaxation into the mind? Take 2 more cycles of breath, slow and restful. Nothing forced. And at the bottom of that second exhale, as you continue to breathe, bring your hands to press together in front of your heart. Gently bow your chin and just take your breathing a little bit more internal. Just take a moment to yourself. When you're ready, lift the chin, open the eyes. You can interlace the fingers, stretch them out overhead, and just take a little side to side wake up stretch, letting the breath drop in and out, moving in a way that feels good for you. From here, we are going to move onto our bellies in a half frog position. So you can start on your belly, and you're simply going to take one foot. I'm taking my right leg And just lift the knee as high as you'd like towards your shoulder, and just let the inner edge of the foot rest on the ground. And simply let your forehead rest on your hands, on the floor, on a pillow, whatever way is comfortable for you. Getting this nice relaxed opener in the right hip. And just breathe. Take a little snooze, schnoz, a snooze. Take a snooze. God. Continue to activate through that right foot so the toes are flexed, not super energetically, but energetically enough that they're activated and you're aware of the feet. And as we rest here, bring your awareness to the points where you are making contact with the floor. And you can start from the upper body and run kind of a list down, like my elbows, my hips, and run down the body. Or you can simply let the sensations of that pressure against the floor direct your attention. So if you really feel it in the hips or the belly, send a little bit of breath there. And become aware of your imprint on the floor or on the earth, really. Take one more deep breath in here. And release it with a sigh. And we're going to just gently, you're going to stay in your half frog, open your arms out to a T. My earrings are getting in the way. And from here, you're going to you can send your bent leg back. You're simply going to use your right arm to roll you over a little bit onto your left side. So you're getting a little shoulder stretch in the left arm. Your right arm can just be resting in front. You can lift it up. You can kind of play around here, sending it wherever you like. Trying to keep the palms of both hands pressed against the earth. But if that's not comfortable, relax it. You can let the head gently drift back to the floor or to a pillow. Deep breath into the shoulder. And on the exhale, roll back onto your belly. And then reset for half frog on the other side. So you're just going to bend the left knee towards the left shoulder, inner edge of the foot on the ground. Rest down wherever is comfortable for you. Really settling, feeling just very connected to the floor and the earth. Just fully supported here. You control how high or low you'd like the knee to rise. Eyes can always close. And just try a little bit of lateral breathing here. So as you inhale, instead of imagining the breath dropping straight down, which sometimes we do, imagine it filling your rib cage sideways. You're breathing horizontally. Imagine that expansion out the side ribs as you breathe in and out. I think of like sort of a little clamshell action happening with the rib cage. A little ballooning out maybe is a better metaphor than a clamshell. And just practice this type of guided breath for a couple of moments. And one more cycle of breath. At the bottom of that exhale, you're going to bring that leg down to meet the right leg. Open those arms wide and gently roll over onto that right shoulder. And rest the head wherever is comfortable. Left hand can be wherever you'd like. Palm of the right hand on the ground. Trying to stack the shoulders gently on top of each other. Take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, carefully roll on back to your belly. And we're gonna press up with our hands into a tabletop. Open the knees as wide as your mat, toes can touch, and send those hips back, child's pose. Another restful point where we really connect with the floor and also kind of gently stretch. So let your head be heavy on a surface or the mat and breathe. If you can do less here, I encourage you to do it. Do less and less. Allow yourself to just be supported and lifted up by the floor and the earth, and also the structure of your own body and your muscles and the bones. Just let yourself rely on all of that so that your mind, your breath can just be free for a couple, if not many moments. On an inhale, we're going to gently shift back into our downward facing, I'm not downward facing dog, I'm so used to saying that, into our tabletop. From here, let's take a couple rounds of cat and cow. So hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Inhale to drop the belly, lift the tailbone, send that heart out, gaze lifts as an extension and an expansion of that heart. And then the exhale, so slow and steady and fully aware, round the spine, gaze towards the belly button. Again, like you're pressing through some thick air or like jello. Move with sort of very deliberate grace and ease. Move with that easy, flowing, you're like jelly energy. Take a couple more rounds, seeing where you're at with your cat and cows, noticing how it feels in your body today. And then we're going to come back to a fairly neutral spine. I'm just going to turn to face you so you can see more what I'm doing, but I'm still on my tabletop. And here I'm just going to walk my hands forward a little bit as if we were doing a downward dog. So my hands are just ahead of my shoulder. And I'm going to just drop my hips down towards the floor and then send them back tabletop. So inhale gently with control. Still feel that belly button pulling towards the spine a little bit so you don't just collapse into your lower back. There's still a little bit of contraction in that belly. And then on exhale, send it back. Take one more just like this. Strength in the lower belly so you don't just drop to the floor. Even if we're really flexible, we don't overstretch. Back to our tabletop. And let's bring it around town. Those of you who grew up on SpongeBob, bring it around town. So you're gonna send those hips one elbow then the other and up in the air. I love this. Makes me think I was like a cat in my other life. I feel like they're always contorting. Let's take 3 or so on each side. So when you finish the third cycle, nice and steady, start the other direction. Back toes can be untucked, but if for whatever reason you feel more comfortable tucking them, this is your practice. Good, and after the third one, come back up to our tabletop. I'm just pivoting for view. And if you'd like to take a different version of child's pose, I'm going to keep my knees under my hips rather than opening them, and then send the hips on back. I'm going to try to keep my hands out to get a little bit of a shoulder stretch here. But you can take any position with the arms. It might be supportive to put a block or a pillow under your head if it's hard to kind of let your head hang there and it's not reaching the floor. Deep breath. Option to close your eyes and just reconnect. We've been here before. This is a familiar space for your body and for your breath. And at the bottom of that exhale, begin to come on back into our tabletop position. Excellent. From here, I'm gonna just send my hips back towards my heels, walking my hands back, and then I'm gonna rise on up. Whew. From here, I'm going to extend my right foot. So I'm in this lunge, this like kneeling lunge position. And then I'm gonna drop my hands on either side of that foot and then just use my toes to kind of inch my ankle out a little bit further so that way I can send the hips down in between and get this really sort of deep stretch without my knee shooting, skyrocketing over my ankle. I'm trying to extend the foot enough out in front so that the knee can always stack on top. And then just take a couple moments. If you have blocks, excellent here for helping to send that heart forward. If you have the floor, doing the same thing, you just might be a little lower. Deep breath in and out. From here, you're gonna plant the left palm on the floor on the inside of the right foot. Left hand down, open right arm up. Sometimes I don't know if I said right or left. And then option if you want to bend that elbow and just drop it behind your back as a little half bind for you all. Wherever you're at, take one more breath. Exhale, frame that front foot. And then we're gonna flex that foot as if we're going to half split, but we're gonna actually sit, if it's comfortable, have a seated half split. So you bring those hips all the way to the back heel and then reach as far forward as feels good for you. You can always bend that front knee. Just trying to keep these shoulders in their sockets. So if you can like reach so far beyond, but you feel that like you're kind of losing that contact, shoulders in the back, send everything back a little bit. I understand swallowing pride because you just like want to make these milestones and stretch more and more. We also want to take care of the integrity of our temples, our bodies. So take another breath here. Exhale. And then using the hands on either side of your legs, help yourself press on up so it's not all in that supporting knee. Come on back into that lunge. I'm squeegeeing out my toes a little bit. Excellent. And then bring that foot back a little bit so it's underneath a little right angle of the leg and sit your torso up. Send your torso up. Hands on the hips. Right knee comes down to meet the left. Take any little movements you want here. And then we're going to step out the left foot. So just find square hips before we go any further here. Find uplifted front body. Head is parallel with the ceiling. And then you can plant your hands on either side of the left foot as we squeegee out our toes enough that we can send our hips down a little bit further in space. Good, and just settle here. This practice is all about easing in and finding a place that we can sustain. So find the edge and bring some breath into it. The end of that next exhale, you're going to plant your right hand down and light up the sky with the left hand, getting a gentle twist. Option to bend at the elbow and simply wrap it around your back. Gaze can be up towards the sky, or if it's more stable for you to look down at the mat at your fingers, that's fine too. Inhale, one last moment here, and then exhale, send that hand down to frame the foot. From here, if it helps to tuck the back foot, you can, that's always an option. You're gonna flex the front foot and basically come into a seated half split. Find a posture that's comfortable, flex those toes towards your face, and begin to fold. If you equipped yourself with lots of pillows, putting a pillow under that knee is like wonderful. It's like a really nice sensation to have a little bit of cushion because things can be really tight behind the knee. Excellent. Your back toe is tucked. It'll be a little bit more like this, and you might be feeling a stretch in those toes, or you'll definitely be feeling it. And then we're going to plant our hands on either side. Help us. Help send your body up as we squeegee those toes forward for one final lunge. Feel into like the sort of depth that you are that you're reaching. Excellent. And then walk that foot so it's directly under knee, 90 degrees, and then send it back. Roll back the shoulders. From here, I'm just going to turn so you can see. You are going to take your palms and put them directly above your butt cheeks, and then just send those elbows towards each other, and the heart might lift up. Take 3 breaths like this. So the palms are kind of pressing into the top of the glutes, a little massage, and the fingers are there to really make sure that your lower back doesn't give up. It's a little reminder to keep the core engaged, so it's really the upper body that's opening. You're also getting a little stretch in the wrists. And then on the exhale, carefully release. And then we're just going to reach one arm over the other. Reach towards opposite shoulder blades. Tuck the chin. Take a breath. And then inhale, arms out. And then cross the other arm over. Reach for opposite shoulders. Tuck the chin. And just be in this kind of reverent self-hug. And then open those arms. Wonderful. I'm going to adjust my mat. As we make our way into our final postures, just check in on how you're doing. Hopefully you're feeling sort of like lubricated, or you're starting to pay attention to places that might need a little bit more support and love. So we're going to come back into our tabletop position. From here, I'm going to lift my right knee towards my right elbow, and then turn it out so that my ankle is pointing, my toes are pointing to the left, and just let the shin drop towards the mat. We're going into our half pigeon. From here, just walk the back leg out. And then send your torso upright. Pillow underneath your seat right now is a really lovely option. If you've never tried that, I highly recommend it. And we have the time, so if you want to get a pillow now. Back foot can be tucked or untucked. Front leg can be on a nice diagonal. Certainly does not need to be parallel with the mat. Take a minute, find your middle. So if you're kind of rocking one side to the other, find a nice midway point to pause, lift up, deep inhale. And then exhale, send the body down as much as you'd like to go today. If you're listening to music or have any soothing sounds on the background, take a minute, just listen to that. Send your attention to what you're hearing. A little like ASMR? You hear someone like typing on a laptop, or a little gentle whisper in the kitchen or something. Just pay attention to what you hear. And let it just kind of be a white noise, something that kind of helps you drop into this experience a little more. Take 2 more full cycles of breath. So take them slow. And if you feel that you're not taking a really full inhale, take 1 more inhale. If you really feel you can breathe a little deeper, give yourself the opportunity to really inhale and feel that expansion in the body. And then the exhale, the release. When you're ready, using the hands, press the body up, feel tall. And then exhale, you're gonna just send the hips off to the right side so that you can swing the left leg around, and you're just gonna plant the left shin along the mat, send the right leg back, and get into pigeon this way. So using your hands to balance, Pick those hips up off the ground and settle them right in between both hips. So you're not leaning to one side or the other. Lovely pillow would be great. Take a breath, find your length. Really feel yourself kind of growing long here. And then the exhale, take that same length and fold. Boop. Now, can we turn our attention back to our own breath? The breath is a gift, and if we sort of think of it as something that it is sort of a giver of life and experience, and it's a really active part of our perception. We breathe more shallow when we're nervous, for instance, or more deeply when we're resting. Can we bring the quality of our breath to the experience that we want to have? So if we want to feel restful, we want to feel calm, can we bring and invite a calming, soothing rhythm into our breath? If we want to cool down or warm up, how would we breathe to kind of help facilitate that in our bodies? It's all really connected. It's all one human being. So just play. Maybe you just want to listen to the sound of your breath. Maybe you don't want to focus on the breath at all, and rather, the temperature in your fingers or a sensation in your body. Just see if you can slow down enough that you can perceive even the subtlest changes in the quality of that sensation or breath. Let's try this for a couple of moments together. One more cycle of breath here. And on the exhale, begin to lift your torso using your hands. Carefully send the hips off to the left. And I'm going to now bring my feet together and roll down onto my back for our final rest together tonight. Use the blankets, use the pillows. I would love to have you all wrap up like little burritos and then send me pictures for the next newsletter of your burrito shavasans. Just begin to extend the legs long, arms out, fully open to the sky above and supported by the earth below. On exhale, let everything wind down, come down, eyelids close. You feel your jaw heavy, cheeks are relaxed, no tension in your forehead. Your next exhale, let it ride down. Can you melt the shoulders into the mat? Let go of what we're holding onto in our necks. Continue to let this relaxation just ride down your body, deliberately sending it to places. Even if breathing and relaxing feels phony or not fully embodied yet, deliberately unclench your jaw. Relax any fists you're making in your hands. Let the belly relax. And take a moment for yourself. The breath be deep and heavy. Don't mind the mind. It will do what it does. And I am now going to breathe deeply and bring a little bit of stretch into my body, wiggling my fingers and toes. If you'd like, you can stay on your backs as long as you can, especially if you're curled up. Just savor the moment. Otherwise, you can roll over slowly onto your favorite side and make your way back up to your comfortable seated position. Let your eyes close again. Hands at your heart. And then inhale, palms come to forehead. Exhale, bowing forward. And the bow is really to say thank you for showing up for yourselves, but you're also showing up for each other, and you show up for me. So by kind of stepping into your mat and into your practice, you really step into a community that really relies on each other for support. So I really appreciate you, and I offer you namaste. Hopefully you'll see more Sochi in action, pictures soon, in the video soon. And I hope you have a lovely, relaxing rest of your Thursday. Good night, everyone.